Supreme Court hearings justices take an in-depth look at the legality of California's Proposition 8.
Marriage rally. Both sides say they're right. We'll show you how protesters reacted to the Supreme Court hearings here in Utah.
And melanoma breakthrough. A new study hopes to slow the spread of skin cancer. I'm Kristen Furman.
And I'm Karen Sullivan. It's Wednesday, March 27th, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
It's day 2 of historic arguments at the Supreme Court on the future of marriage in this country. The first day focused on California and the legality of Proposition 8. As Tori Dunham reports from Washington, both sides got their say.
The fight over same-sex marriage makes its way to the Supreme Court. The justices had their say in a case that could mark a turning point.
They're arguing for a nationwide rule which applies to states other than California, that every state must allow marriage by same-sex couples.
It's a case that will decide whether Proposition 8, a state ban on same-sex marriage in California, is constitutional. Lawyers representing the plaintiffs, 2 unmarried same-sex couples, stated their case.
And labeling their most cherished relationships as second-rate, different, unequal, and not okay.
On the other side, lawyers representing supporters of Prop 8.
We believe that Proposition 8 is constitutional, and the place for the decision to be made regarding redefining marriage is with the people.
Emotions on both sides ran high outside the Supreme Court.
Can 2 women reproduce? Can 2 men reproduce? Let's be respectful and understand the institution of marriage.
Gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual, they deserve equal rights. They deserve to be able to be married from one end of this country to the other.
53% of Americans say marriages between gay and lesbian couples should be recognized as valid, compared to 40% in 2007. For the justices, an opportunity to make history on this divisive issue.
The ruling will come down sometime before July, and there's a strong possibility there will be no ruling at all. The justices are also considering if the defendants in this case even have the right to sue on behalf of the state. If the justices decide that the defendants don't have standing, they could dismiss the case without a ruling. That would mean gay marriage would be legal again in California.
Hundreds of people from Utah gathered last night at the state capitol to celebrate traditional marriage in light of the Supreme Court cases. 11 News reporter Maddie Wright was at the rally. Maddie, what was it like?
You know, there's a lot of positive energy. There was music and dancing. They wanted to focus more on celebrating marriage between a man and a woman rather than disrespect those who support same-sex marriage.
The Capitol was full of people supporting traditional union between a man and a woman, but the rally did not go without a rebuttal. Protesters called it a celebration to emphasize fundamental families, rather than attacking those who support gay marriage. Instead of people picketing with signs and chants, performers were in full force, from folk fiddlers to classical pianists. Nathan Osmond sang at the rally because he says his beliefs are in harmony with the traditional definition of marriage.
Regardless of, some of the controversy that might be out there surrounding this event, there's going to be nothing but words of love here today.
Governor Gary Herbert made an appearance, but didn't say much about where he stands on the issue.
If we're going to have successful communities, we need to first have successful families.
Some people came because they are worried about losing their state rights.
It's very important that the federal government does not override our definition of marriage between a man and a woman.
Sponsors tugged at the heartstrings of parents when 14-year-old Amelia Summerhays spoke about her family.
But when it comes down to it, I need both parents.
Other presenters also emphasized the importance of both parents in regards to the well-being of children.
Most of the speakers based their arguments on religious concepts and values. They even passed out pamphlets. I grabbed this one. It quotes the Bible and arguments on why traditional marriage matters.
And I saw arguments for both sides exploding on Facebook last night. Thanks, Maddie.
There are 2 sides to every argument. There were people at last night's rally to support gay marriage. 11 News reporter Lucy Tingey was there focusing on the counter-protesters. Lucy, what were the feelings like between the 2 groups there?
Well, Kristen, even with such huge differences in opinions, the feelings in the room were surprisingly friendly. And it was a very unique atmosphere. You would think that there would be more hard feelings and more angry people, but they seemed very respectful and understanding of each other.
During the rally, hundreds of protesters stood on balconies, holding signs and rainbow flags, quietly opposing Governor Herbert's resolve to uphold the traditional definition of marriage. Most of the people who showed up to the protest heard about it through a Facebook group.
I feel that it is both my responsibility and my right to be here to protest against, have a counter-protest against something that I firmly believe is archaic, and it resorts back to racism.
Janice Marcus's brother and son are both same-sex oriented. She went to the rally last night to fight for the right she says her son has to marry his partner. They plan on tying the knot in California this fall and say they hope to receive all of the same benefits as people in a traditional marriage.
Discrimination still exists in terms of the gay community. In this state, gays can be kicked out of their homes, they can lose their jobs, and for no other reason. It doesn't matter what quality of job they do or how they pay their bills.
With only hours to get the word out, protest organizers were surprised at how many people showed up and say it shows how passionate they are about their rights.
We're not going anywhere. This is where we are, this is who we are, and eventually the law will catch up with it.
Protesters say they don't have any plans to gather again in the near future, but anticipate the results of today's Supreme Court case.
So, Lucy, how many people were there supporting gay marriage versus those supporting traditional marriage?
Well, I talked to a rally organizer who said she thinks about 600 people showed up, 400 of whom were protesting the rally.
All right, thank you, Lucy.
A Springville man is standing trial on charges that he forced teenage girls to perform sexual acts with him and other men in his home. Police say Kenneth Michael Bond bribed 2 teenage Provo girls with cell phones, alcohol, and trips to the salon before he forced them to have sex with him and at least 3 other men. Bond is facing 38 felony counts stemming from these charges. Rescue teams saved 3 more beavers from the Willard Bay diesel leak. The Wildlife Rehabilitation Center says these beavers face the most harm because of their long exposure to the toxins. Teams have saved a total of 6 beavers and need help to rescue other animals trapped in the harmful water. The center is asking for volunteers to help with the cause.
111 News at Noon returns. Egg hunt. The Easter Bunny is on his way. We'll tell you where to scoop up some prizes.
And celebrating spring, what one popular Spanish Fork festival is doing to keep things safe. Stay.
Doctors say the number of melanoma cases in the United States is increasing faster than any other type of cancer. 11 News reporter Katie Junker shows us how Utah researchers may have found a way to slow down the spread of this disease.
Researchers say melanoma is the 6th most common cancer in the United States. This means 1 out of every 50 people will get melanoma in their lifetime.
Kendra Monson found out she had melanoma when she was 31 weeks pregnant. This news forced her to get induced 3 weeks early so she could get emergency surgery just 3 days after giving birth.
You worry if you're going to die or not. You know, there's a big chance that, you know, they give you your 5-year survival rate, and that's scary.
Utah has the 4th highest number of melanoma cases in the nation, giving doctors a reason to call the most aggressive form of skin cancer a public health concern. Melanoma can spread early to other parts of the body, making it difficult to treat. Fortunately for those with melanoma, Utah researchers found a protein that can reduce the spread of cancer in mice. This protein is called ARF6, and doctors say that targeting it may be an effective way to stop the melanoma from spreading in human patients.
That's where targeting ARF6 has the potential to provide some therapeutic benefit and hopefully in the long run increase the survivorship from metastatic melanoma.
Researchers are moving from working with mice as subjects to the clinical study phase. For people with melanoma, like Kendra Monson, this brings hope to finding a cure.
Researchers say targeting the ARF6 protein could help other cancers with the same protein, like breast cancer and some brain cancers. Kristen?
The Festival of Colors in Spanish Fork will see more uniformed guests this year. The Utah County Board of Commissioners decided to contract more police officers after almost 50,000 people showed up for last year's celebration. Only 2 officers were on duty at the Krishna Temple last year, forcing them to call for backup.
The Easter Bunny is getting a hand from the city of Provo this year. As the holiday approaches this weekend, the city is teaming up with BYU to host a huge Easter egg hunt. 11 News reporter Scott Gardner gives us a peek at what we can expect this weekend.
Easter celebrations may vary from person to person, but Provo officials say they think everyone will want to share in at least one tradition, hunting for Easter eggs. The city is working with BYU to create a hunt at Helaman Fields for 32,000 of them. City representatives say getting that many eggs together has not been easy.
So the preparation's been going on for about 2 months, maybe a little bit more than that. Some of the initial purchases and planning start in January, and then we get the eggs in, and it takes us about a month to fill all 16,000 of our eggs, and BYU is separately filling their 16,000 eggs.
Officials report that filling the eggs took more than 60,000 pieces of candy and prizes.
It was really fun. We made it kind of like an adventure and just kind of spread it out all over the tables. We had eggs everywhere, candy everywhere, and it was really fun.
Although city employees do all the work to prepare the eggs, they will let volunteers take over as Easter Bunny out on the field. The crew that places the eggs is 75 volunteers, and they do all the hiding on Saturday morning just before the hunt. Only kids ages 10 and younger can join in on the hunt, but the city plans to have inflatables and arts and crafts for everyone. There will even be a free BYU football game across the street once the hunt is over. In Provo, Scott Gardner, 11 News.
This is the 38th annual Easter egg hunt Provo City is hosting, but the first time BYU is assisting them. Officials say this will be their biggest and best year yet. And Brenna, hopefully the weather's good for this Easter egg hunt.
I'll be there. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, we're only 5 days out from Easter Sunday. Can you believe it? I'll let you know how warm to expect your Easter Sunday to be when we return. Hey there, your lunchtime temperatures are a lot warmer today than they were yesterday. I hope you're enjoying the warm up. Clear skies out in Provo, just some snow on the mountains, but hey, we're dry in the valleys and we should stay dry for the rest of the week. Walking outside in Provo, we have 46 degrees as our current temperature, 81% humidity. That's a little moist, but we shouldn't see any precipitation for the rest of the week. And calm winds, so that's going to be a trend for the rest of this week. Calm and chill, cool, but not chill in the cold way. Now in this afternoon we have some sun and not a whole lot of clouds. Overnight is when the clouds are going to come in, but isn't that just beautiful for today? This is going to be a great day to be outside, be in the sun, but don't get skin cancer, and just enjoy this weather while we have it in March. 41 is our low tonight, mostly cloudy skies, should obscure part of that full moon, but hey, it'll be out there, so hopefully you get to see it as it rises. I think it's going to peak around 9 o'clock tonight, so hopefully we'll get to take a look at that. If we look at our future cast for the next couple of days in Utah, this is Wednesday moving into Thursday. We see just clouds moving around the Wasatch Front, even in southern Utah, a little cloudy. This is Friday as we move in. We see a little bit of precipitation along the Wasatch Front. That's mainly on the mountains. When we see some rain and some snow, we really shouldn't see much in the valleys. If we see a little bit, it'll be Wednesday and maybe again on Friday. But definitely nothing really to accumulate or really dampen our spirits. Again, this is going to be a great week, so enjoy it. Let me prove it to you with our highs. Our lowest high of the day so far is Wendover at 59. The rest of the state is seeing 60s and 70s. That's a change from earlier this month. 65 in Salt Lake City as the high. Provo, your high 67. 67 also in Nephi. As we move down to southern Utah, they're seeing as high as 66 in Cedar City and 78 degrees in St. George. That sounds like a perfect afternoon to me. They're going to see just a little bit of clouds in southern Utah as that storm system moves by just a little bit. If they see rain, it'll come on Friday. There's only a 20 or 30% chance on Friday. And 77 is the high that day. As we go into Easter Sunday, the chance of rain goes up again, just maybe to 30% that day on Easter Sunday in the evening. So not too much rain to expect that day, just a great warm temperature in southern Utah. Northern Utah is the same story. If we see rain, it'll be Friday and maybe again on Sunday night, but 67 degrees on Sunday. That's going to be a great Easter forecast. And you can tell the rest of the week is just sunny and nice, a little bit of clouds, perfect Easter hunting weather, no matter how old you are. I personally believe that you're never too old to go Easter egg hunting.
Definitely, and I'm glad the snow came last weekend, not this weekend.
That makes for a great Easter Sunday.
Thanks, Brenna.
So, AJ, now that the weather's a little bit warmer, I was hoping to catch a baseball game. How they doing?
Yeah, that's right. It's definitely baseball weather, but that doesn't mean that it's not without a little bit of heartbreak. Next on sports, Holy Heartbreaker. The Cougars and Utes needed extra innings to finish their first head-to-head showdown of the year. And quarterfinal Cougars, the BYU basketball team will try to ground the Golden Eagles tonight for a chance to play at Madison Square Garden. Sports is next. Keep it locked. Major League Baseball's opening day is this weekend, but BYU baseball has already passed the All-Star break. The Cougars took their 11-12 record to Spring Mobile Ballpark last night to face that team up north. Cougar faithful made their way up to Salt Lake and saw an anemic offense for BYU. Adam Law says that's not a strike. The ump begged to differ, but one thing they can agree on is this is a home run. Top of the ninth, Kelton Caldwell belts an 0-1 fastball over the right field fence, and we got a tie game. The Cougars weren't done, though. With 2 men on, Adam Law drills this pitch into deep center, scoring the 2 and telling the Utes that you fought the law and the law won. The U would have the last laugh, though, as they tied it up in the bottom of the 9th, and then in the bottom of the 10th, TJ Bennett tells BYU, you don't have to go home, but you got to get the heck up out of here. Utes win on the walk-off 5-4 in a wild one. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Yes, the madness continues for BYU basketball as the Cougars play in the quarterfinals of the NIT with a chance to play in Madison Square Garden on the line. After 2 impressive wins at home, the boys in blue head down to Hattiesburg, Mississippi to take on an explosive Southern Miss Golden Eagles squad. This Conference USA team is 14-1 this season at home and have won their last 30 home games against non-conference opponents. They feature an explosive offense led by guard Dwayne Davis that averages 74 points a game, including 48% field goal percentage. If they do have a weakness, though, it's their lack of size on the interior with no one over 6'7", a reality that Brandon Davies and the BYU Bigs hope to exploit tonight. The game tips at 6 p.m. on ESPNU. Some have called it the greatest rivalry on planet Earth. Not Yankees-Red Sox, not UNC-Duke, not even BYU-Utah. It's the United States soccer team versus Mexico. Yes, those Yankees went south of the border to face the Mexicans in a World Cup qualifying match at El Estadio Azteca, that notorious house of horrors. In 14 previous qualifiers at El Estadio Azteca, the Americans have lost 13 times and tied just once. Ay caramba. 100,000 faithful fans packed the house to see their boys pick up La Victoria. They had their chances as this ball drops into the box, and American goalkeeper Brad Guzan goes up for it, gets it, knocking down Zavala to the ground and maintaining the clean sheet. The Mexicans would take 19 shots to the Americans' 1, but could not score. It was the Alamo all over again, but this time the Americans survived, hanging on for the draw on the ever-important 1 point in qualifying. And he showed us his bracket, and now he's showing off his skills. The sports fan-in-chief was at it again, hosting both LA champion hockey and soccer teams. President Barack Obama had the LA Kings and Galaxy at the White House yesterday to congratulate them on championships and show off a bit himself.
I hope you guys caught that. That doesn't happen very often. Okay.
Say what you want about this guy's politics, but he sure knows how to host a championship team in the White House.
Well, I'm pretty impressed. He has to be pretty confident to be able to do that in front of so many people.
And good thing he didn't drop that ball.
No, seriously, he's a pretty impressive guy.
Yeah, looked fun. Thanks, AJ. Still to come at 11 News at noon, groundhog fraud. People are blaming the furry creatures because they predicted an early spring, but the weather had other plans. Stay with us.
Groundhogs are facing a lot of blame these days for their inaccurate forecasts of the spring weather. This groundhog named Jimmy entered the witness protection program to avoid upset crowds. Some groundhogs are charged with fraud. Others, like Puxatawny Phil, potentially face the death penalty, but prosecutors have dismissed most of the charges. Owners claim groundhogese is the cause for the misinterpreted prediction. And Brenna, I think that's why we have weather people, not groundhogs.
You know what? It's not as easy as it looks. When you're putting your faith in a stuffed animal, I mean, it's not easy to say 6 weeks of winter, 6 weeks of
stuffed animal.
They're alive.
I mean, all right, you can give me that.
Wait, we're not gonna go that far, okay?
Either way, he's a groundhog, so think about this for a second.
Well, I think it's about time they got what's coming to them, because I feel like they're wrong almost every year, and I put a lot of stock in those little furry feathers.
Don't shoot the messenger. That's all I'm saying. He's just trying to do his job.
67 degrees is our high today. I'd call that spring. Now in the Midwest, they are getting some big storms.
Well,
at least
spring's coming now.
The nation is big. How can he predict accurately the entire nation?
Yeah, that's the toughest job.
That's rough.
It's true. It is a rough job. It might be harder than Santa Claus. That's it for 11 News at Noon for Wednesday, March 27th.
You can join us anytime on our website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching and have a great afternoon.